Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to talk about what you should do to be fully prepared for the launch of Elsweyr. We are about to get hit by a complete new zone, Elsweyr, which is huge in terms of story content. We get the full trial with 3 bosses, and each of those do have a hard mode. And on top of that, we also will get the new class, Necromancer. So there's a lot of things that we need to prepare. The first point of the list, sets. Whether be it 5-piece unique gear sets or monster sets, you want to have as many of them as possible. Sometimes it can take quite a while to obtain certain items through trials or dungeons. It is very hard to get weapons or jewelry of a certain set, so you want to farm as much as possible already, even though if you might not need all. But if you check out my website, you will more or less know what kind of sets are good or not. So make sure to check it out, link in the description below. This already brings us to the second point, Transmute Stones. Those are very important because if you have item sets or certain items that have a bad trait, you can transmute them with Transmute Stones to a trait of your choice. So you can have defending Inferno stuff, but this is obviously not optimal. You want the infused or a precise one, you can use Transmute Stones to transmute it. Now, there is a small trick and something to know. If you don't have ESO Plus, you're capped at 100 stones. If you have ESO Plus, you have 200 stones. You need 50 Transmute Stones to transmute one single item. That is obviously a lot, and with a cap of 100 or 200, you will not get far. However, there's a very nice trick. Yes, the Transmute Stones are kept in your inventory, but Transmutation Geodes are not kept. And the Transmute Stones come from Transmutation Geodes. So as you can see here, I have 17 gold geodes, and in each box there is 50 stones. So with this amount I can transmute 17 items easily. The stone cap is basically completely useless. You just need to farm transmutation geodes and you will be good to go. I have a full guide on that on my website on how you can do that if you don't know. Link in the description below. The third point on the list, upgrade materials. You want to have as much upgrade materials, blue, purple, gold or whatever as possible, because with Elsweyr we are getting a new class, the Necromancer, and you probably want to level up a new character or even 2, and you need new gear for that, and you want to upgrade that gear as much as possible to be as powerful as possible. I do have a build on my website that is made for farming materials with locations and so on. Link in the description. Before we continue, please make sure to subscribe and hit that juicy like button. I will cover Elsweyr very in depth, be it on YouTube, Twitch or my website. You will have loads of content. The fourth point on the list is about buff food, potions, glyphs, alchemy materials and all that stuff. You want to make sure to farm or buy that before the chapter goes live, because what usually happens when a DLC or a chapter goes live is that things tend to get more expensive in the store and there is always a lot more people farming things. So if you can do that already before the chapter goes live, then you will have a big advantage. The fifth point is for new characters. Now with Elsweyr, Necromancer will launch, and you probably want to create a new character. It doesn't have to be a Necromancer, it can be any class basically. But what I'm getting at, you want to optimize your grinding setup, gaining experience, leveling up and so on. The shorter that time, the faster you can do something more enjoyable. On the other hand, again, leveling or grinding in this game is not that annoying compared to in other MMOs. It really doesn't take that long, especially if you already have some sort of idea what you're doing. For example, my character here. Currently, I'm also leveling up an account on the NA server. I usually play on the EU server, but I want to play more on the NA too. So I still have pretty low champion points. But my point is, this is a pretty basic setup that I also explain on my website grind guide article. Just make sure to have as much training gear as possible, because each training gear piece gives you 10% extra experience gain. The same goes for weapons. You can, like a purple weapon, 4% each on a one-handed weapon, two-handed gives you 8% on a purple. And on top of that, you can use experience scrolls. Or potions, both work. This here is a scroll that I got through the daily login rewards. So I didn't even have to buy it in the Crown Store or somewhere else. Because there is a thing called daily login rewards. If you do that every day, there is always some sort of experience scrolls in here. Now on my EU server, I have over 50% experience boosters stored and over 150% boosters. And I didn't buy any of these. These just came through daily reward logins. So make sure to log in daily, very important. And again, if you want the basic setup on how like the grinding works, how to optimize your experience gain, make sure to check out the grind guide on my website, link in the description. That is it from me for now. Make sure to not forget to subscribe and hit the like button. If you have any questions, please ask me in the comment section below or on my Twitch live streams, twitch.tv/AlcastHQ. You can always ask me questions about Elder Scrolls Online there. That's what I am here for. Or you can check out my website, which has all builds for PvP, PvE, and grind guides, and just a lot of very helpful articles that you should definitely check out. Thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Cheers.